Hey guys, welcome back. Again, this is just our time. We noticed last week and even the week before that we sat down, we talked about some ideas that we had. You know, how we liked the campaign, how we liked the session, what went well, what didn't go well. Just kind of improve upon ourselves. And then we also want to talk a little bit about the stream and things that we can do for that. So, how'd you guys like the session?
It was good. It went pretty well.
Yeah, the Blood Seekers didn't take too much out of you?
Took things out of
You had two characters go down to 1 hit point.
I know. I'm being very good with my building.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna give them a bunch of easy enemies and then roll high for everything.
It happens.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have lasted. I kept rolling really low. In fact, I swapped dice out halfway. We all rolled.
Yeah, you guys are rolling real low on that. And that hurts you because if you can get to those bugs before they get to you, they're a lot easier.
Yep.
But, okay, so the lighthouse was my favorite idea for this area. The lighthouse, the bookshop, it's something that I would love to have as a library full of books anyway, but just imagine 4 floors of library that you get to live in.
And it being a lighthouse is pretty cool.
Yeah, yep.
With no ocean.
So that was one of my favorite things that I've made for Entwood. So I'm really glad we got to at least get there and experience it a little bit.
So I was asking about the check earlier because hero points allow you to re-roll a check. Or you can use all of your hero points to basically come back to life.
Okay, so yes, I would let you re-roll a dice roll. That's the way I'm going for a dice roll. Any D20.
Any D20. All right,
Yep.
so that's where I was looking for clarification.
Yes.
Was because we kept rolling so low. I was like, I really want to make this count. So
Yeah.
I was going to see if I could use.
I would have
my
re-rolled
hero points.
if I had not made the tree. I would have re-rolled that. I'm not gonna
because
do that.
because it does say check, so that's why I was asking.
And
if you're just going to,
I'm treating it like points of inspiration.
Okay, then that's fair enough.
So you can get up to 3 points of inspiration.
That's what I was looking for.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at there, and yes, we're playing Pathfinder 2. We're all learning the rules. I mean, we came up to the crafting stuff and was like, I haven't researched that yet. That'll be a next time problem.
Yeah. I've got my orders filled for today.
Yeah.
And the next day. And for the next week.
I didn't tell you guys, so remind me. I do have the other animals that are on the bar that haven't got skulls on them yet. So I do have those prepared.
When you guys...
Cammy Swift?
Cammy's kills.
Something?
Yeah, Cammy.
Swift Heart? Swift Shot?
I totally didn't get it.
Swift Heart.
All I know is that she's in a one-piece camo bikini. That's
So
With a 7-foot braid.
Yeah.
as you guys can tell from the stream, we've already made changes to the character cards. They look fantastic. Thank you, Tim, for all the art that you've done. It's just beautiful.
You did a great job on those.
Tim and I sat down, 2 weeks ago now, and we worked out just the way that the stream goes, giving it a background, and different things like that. So we're putting in a lot of work, and that's kind of where we're at now, is moving forward. So a few things that need to be done, and these are things that we're welcome to say, hey, this is kind of what I'm going to take point on. Episode names and YouTube naming. I can give everyone access to the YouTube account to where you can go in, make whatever edits and stuff that need to be made, or just helping to come up with names for stuff. Names do matter, and Tim can talk about that more off stream as far as some of the important stuff if anyone wants to take that over. Name cards we've got pretty much figured out, so I can check that off for now. Thumbnails for YouTube. I know Tim's kind of looking into that a little bit. We are likely going to have to do a photo shoot of some sort in the future. Mainly, it's like getting reactions. So
if you go to like their regular page or whatever for dragons and things, like you can see all their thumbnails are like a character, and they're just doing like a funny pose or like an animated reaction or something like that.
And basically, YouTube got algorithms and everything else. Research basically shows up close faces and very little text, some sort of reaction.
Yeah.
gets people to click.
Yeah. People are interested in people.
Yep.
Like,
And that's what that's why we're trying to interact with the chat as things are happening, because we want to interact. That the entire point is to be part of it, to create that community. So that's one way that, people are interested in people, and I'm interested in people. I want to know who's watching us and such.
yeah.
Hilarious.
So it'll be something like if somebody has a particularly good moment, like they get the thumbnail for
Yep.
the stream or something like
Yeah.
that. So that's a later thing.
What's going to be the delay?
So if we get all these pictures and stuff done, I would plan to just remove whatever needs to be removed, get that done, and then just have it sitting ready to pop up, because I can make one of those in almost no time, especially if we're going with something simple like that. Naming the series, because right now it's role-played games playing a homebrew series, so that is something for us to kind of think about. Critical Role, they didn't name their series, they're just season 2, but they're Critical Role. We are not.
They can get away with that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you could just stick with the fun of what Adventures in Astoria would be a fun, because it's your world.
Yeah.
So.
So
And that way, if you TPK us, we can start back in the world and, with different characters and not change anything.
thumbnails for YouTube we talked about. Description research for videos.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, that's probably something Tim and I will focus on. We've at least done a little bit of that in the past. Fabric and sound damping. As we get ready to build the set, and that's going to take a little bit of time just to get the wood and whatever cushions and stuff. I want to be able to build it and have it done, so I won't start that until we can finish it in a day, basically. But after that's done, I've got 48 panels coming in of the soundproofing and 16 corner pieces. So that will help a lot with our sound dampening and stuff. So that will be coming shortly. I think that it comes this week. We do have a second mount for the cameras there coming within the next 2 weeks that will help us change up angles and move those around a bit. But what we need some help with, community interaction points. Where can we go find our community? Reddit, Facebook groups, different things like that, where we can say, hey, this is the thing we're doing. I hope you can enjoy it with us.
Yeah. It needs to be something where, like, there's a couple different aspects to it. There's one aspect where it's like, we want, like, genuinely, like, asking, how can we improve? Like, how do we improve our stream? How do we improve our role playing? How do we improve as a DM? How do we improve like these, like our sound quality and all these different things to like improve our stream? But then the other aspect of it is, where can we go to post and just like notify and publicize that this is something we're doing and we'd love to have people join, but doing it in a way that's not like intrusive, right? So
Not the gas mask way.
right, exactly. You don't run up into a room and just yell breakfast is ready. Instead, again, being genuine about it.
Because if people can see that they made suggestions and that we changed, that makes them a part of what we're doing, which is the goal.
So part of this is also, at some point in time, revamping my website to reflect more of this being the primary thing that we do, and some of the other streaming and stuff, or the other taping and stuff, is another thing that we do. But this is kind of what I really love doing. And I know a couple of you said this is kind of what you look forward to. So I would like that to take a pretty high presence on the website, and then some of the other stuff take a more of a back road, but still prevalent. On that, I thought it would be really interesting if, from time to time, we did your journal entries as a thing on the website, if that's something that you'd be interested in doing.
Well, but spoiler, I already have a journal, and I was like, I'm going to start writing in this just because I'm nerdy.
Yeah, no.
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be really cool.
So I think that would be something interesting for us to do, and it gives you another outlet and something for people to kind of check in on from time to time.
Okay, I had a question.
Yes.
Real quick. The red journal and the blue journl.
I
Does
wanted
that
to-
mean anything?
No.
Or I'm just reading into that.
You just read into it.
Is
Yeah.
that like,
I wanted to give her options on colors.
okay,
So
because I'm looking at it and
Yeah.
I'm thinking like red or blue. Oh my gosh, it's the Matrix.
I I don't know. Maybe one will suck you into a different dimension.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's like anything you write in here becomes reality because it's like,
It's like
that's
the
not
what is
the
that
real
story?
world.
Never-ending story? Something like that.
Death Note.
That is one of them. Yeah.
True.
I was just curious if it because like that kid kind of creeps me out.
My sister says we sound good though.
Oh, great.
Thank you. So the audio is coming through pretty well then tonight, and we'll see if she responds. So yeah, I thought that would be something interesting to give you almost a corner and make it a blog entry almost.
Yeah.
So again, I can make everyone managers of that, and I could use some help with it because I've got a couple things on the website, but it's nothing super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not something that I love doing. We are looking at getting Sirenscape at some point in time that will give us background music that is legitimate for streaming and all of that, and it gives you a lot of fantasy stuff that goes along with it. If we were actually playing a Pathfinder campaign, like I know that Rise of the Rune Lords actually has a playlist that you're supposed to play at different parts in the campaign, which is really awesome. But it's very intuitive, very easy to do. I had it for like a month or two, back whenever my college group was playing it before you guys were there. It was fun. So that's something we're looking at. We already talked about stream services. We're sticking with Twitch for now. I think that's probably where we're best at. And with that, we're looking at creating custom emojis that could either be purchased or gifted as subscribers come on with us. We do need to basically clean up our Twitch page. So adding some of the content and stuff that comes below it. It's something that I've never researched before, so I just haven't gotten into it. But we did look at some stuff and just having chat rules and
Stream schedule and what we're about.
Yeah.
Those sort of things. Links to a link to the website, a link to YouTube channel, a link to whatever.
Subscriber badges is another thing that we can give out. And then we talked about stream alerts. If we have some sort of alert, being able to recognize that as someone who's subscribed to us or gifted a subscription and such. Eventually, we're looking at a Patreon, but I actually removed the Patreon that I had up. When we do a Patreon, we want it to be like a release. This is what we're doing, a hard push on it, and actually be able to create content for it.
Yeah, somewhere it's like we're giving value.
Yeah,
it's not just it's not about asking for money. It's like for those of you who want to go deeper with us, here's the opportunity where we can make that happen.
And I already know that at some price point there will be a role-played games patch because Josh and I are both patch monkeys. We love patches. So that will be something that will be available at a tier at some point. But we want to be able to design the tiers for specific reasons, what they're for, and getting that community engagement, which brings us to also having Discord. I have a Discord. Discord is a chat function for a lot of gamers and a lot of communities, especially online communities. So it is something that we're going to be looking at as far as revamping and getting things there. Set design we talked about. We are also working on an intro script and outro script. And part of that will be a question of the day that we're able to ask our audience. Whether it be, hey, what was your first Dungeons and Dragons character? Or which class do you best represent? Or, hey, what are your real life stats? What do you consider your stats to be? But a question that we can ask and get some sort of engagement back with. Yeah. So, Patch Monkey, that funky monkey. Actually, each of the characters cards would make an excellent patch as well.
You'd probably have to clean.
True.
You'd probably have to
clean it up some.
They're too complex to be a good patch.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the whole card wouldn't be a good patch, but
No,
the
but
actual picture.
Yeah, that's what I mean, the icon, yeah.
But, are you talking like a fabric patch or whatever?
It depends on what type we do. There's a lot of different styles out there.
If it's like a printed one, it's probably okay. Again, simplifying it would be a big thing. If it's like a sewn one, it's not good at all.
I actually stick away from the sewn ones myself.
The PVC ones.
Yeah, the PVC are the ones that I really like.
Okay.
They're a bit more expensive, but generally I think they're more They have better longevity. They're more durable. And
Yeah.
I think they look better.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, eventually, we'd want to open up a shop and stuff like that with shirts or what have you, but that's in the future. But think of things that might happen that might make a good something. We do have somewhat of an artist here, even if he says he's not really. He does much better than I.
It takes a long time. That's probably the biggest difference is, like, I just don't know. Like, I do it just as a hobby.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, all the shortcuts. I don't know all the ways to, like, get this perfect shape or find this right tint or like, all those things. So it just takes me a long time. And then even then, when I produce something, I probably have made, like, 4 or 5 different versions of Natasha. Because it's like, I'll publish one and I'll send it to Bryson and then I'll, like, see it, like, export. And I'm like, I totally missed that. Like she doesn't have a shoulder. So I'm like, oh. So, but anyways, it's fun though.
So, and all of these things are in a to-do / moving forward Google Drive Excel sheet.
Yeah.
So, I've actually got general tasks, which is what we're going through right now. I have just created questions for the stream. So, if you guys come up with a question, just throw it in there, and we'll start working our way through some of them. And then we'll get to the last one here in a second. Community engagement through social media and other platforms. If anyone's super good at Instagram or Twitter or anything like that, and you'd like to take that and go, feel free. Or, if you guys have your own social medias that you'd like to post with us, you're welcome to. I'm not forcing you guys to or anything like that. But, if you'd like to share nerdy things or want to, please let me know. That was most of what I've got for the general tasks. Ideas for the Twitch stream. We're trying to come up with a way for the audience to do something as well.
Yeah. We want them to be viewers and participants is probably the best way to put it. So, like examples that we've seen is like if somebody donates, like if somebody donates $1 and then like their character of choice gets +1 AC for the next round or something like that, where it's like it's not just them, they're not just like throwing money at it. It's like they can change a battle or they can change the outcome of an interaction based on if they donate or if they subscribe or if they gift a sub or something like that. So a way for them to be participants in this with us, I guess.
So
what you're saying is if we're in really big trouble, I'll
Just
pull
go.
up my phone and donate $10. It's like, getting out of this.
give them an extra
Give my
roll.
favorite
No.
character, Co, and actually.
But yeah, like there are different like levels that you could do that at. Where it's like if somebody donates $1, then it's this. $2 is that.
That would be really cool.
$10. It's like we saw an example of like one of them was like for X amount of dollars, they cast a wild spell on a random target. So
Yeah.
it's like a random spell on somebody in the encounter,
Yep.
which is just like bonkers.
Which is perfect for us. Yeah.
yeah, but
yeah,
I
so
mean, it could target me. It could target
It's
an
almost
enemy.
like it's almost like a deck of many things.
Yes.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
so it
They
could
can
be
be
a
good
fireball
or
that
bad,
targets the
But it's
entire
community-
party.
Yeah.
But it's community driven.
Yep.
That's the big thing. So it's like it's fun for us because it's like sure it could turn the tide of battle or something like that, or it could make an interaction weird or whatever. But then it's also like how do we explain this as a part of the story?
Yeah.
Like we have to come into it. It's like let's say that Ko gets +2 AC for he just like he has the perfect block or whatever, and he like
Yeah.
deflects the enemy's sword and he counterattacks or something like that, just because of like whatever. So
We've talked about polling the audience for an important decision from an NPC. So I didn't come up with any examples, but
right.
it could be something that could be very interesting, especially if the NPC even likes you or not. That could be something that influences it. We threw out there naming an NPC in or business, something that we come across that I'm like, oh yeah, I totally should have named that person. I did, I promise. What's the name?
Chat, throw me a name.
Mango, what was the ring's
Oh,
name?
man.
Mango Monster.
Mango Monster?
Yep. It's
The Mango Monster.
it's the Monster energy drink. Mango flavor. It's the best.
It is pretty
Really
fantastic.
good. We also talked about as we get Discord and stuff up and running, if somebody wants to create an item, it's a one-time use item that the party gets.
It's one session use.
Yeah, one
So it's
session
like
use.
One
Yep.
use for one session. So it's like this. And that's something like maybe you get like a list of like 10 of them. You can choose one that's right for an encounter, and somehow we get this magic axe, or we get this wand, or we get this ring, or something like that. But like the ring's power is gone after 30 minutes.
It's
of
not
game
like the
time.
broom where she snatches the broom and she has it for the rest of the
Yep.
Right.
campaign.
It's something
Yeah.
where it's like
Powerful.
we get to use it for this one
Specific
stream.
interest. Yep.
This one stream we have
Like
the
a
chance
kill
to use
streak. No.
it. Sure. Yeah, something like that.
Well, and it could just be this insanely overpowered item
Yeah,
that.
you can only like one use.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because
but-
you're not trained in it, you're not good at it. It breaks. When
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And whatever might happen, but yeah.
But again, like all these are ideas so that like because we want like obviously we're having fun here in this room, and it's like if people just want to watch and that's it, fine, that's great. Like that's like thank you for your time kind of thing. But if they want to be participants and like help us to craft a narrative and help us to craft the characters and like be involved as though like they're here in the room with us, like throwing ideas out. Like we have a lot, like having a live studio audience, like
Yep.
in those old TV, like if you think of like a late night comedy show or something like that, where they can like ask them questions and interact
Yeah.
with them, that kind of thing, where like they're there and they're like kind of throwing ideas in here and there. So just like giving them ways to contribute is kind of the goal here and what that looks like.
Then we got into one of our final ideas, which we really, really enjoyed. It's a monster or minion of the night. So I came up with the idea, and then we just ran with it. But basically, everything that the chat does could do something to the monster. So if they're just doing general chat, that could be like 1 damage just by sending a message, or whatever it might be. We'd obviously have to have some sort of limitations with that, because then you can just
spam.
spam chat. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it could be donations do something. We talked about having the wild magic. Somebody gives a $75 donation. Well, you get to cast this spell, and we will pause the game, and we will roll the damage for that spell or whatever it might be. Donation subscriptions do something. If one of us rolls a natural 20, that does something to help the chat. If one of us rolls a natural 1, it does something to hurt the chat.
And it's like they're fighting a monster in the background
Yeah.
while we're playing our game. So
Yep.
again, it encourages them to interact and have fun and stuff. It gives them a goal for the stream too. But the idea started off with, what if we had a monster that they were fighting? It's like, okay, what if that monster was a minion of like a boss? And so if they defeat that minion, then any extra damage goes towards the boss. And then that boss is persistent amongst multiple streams. And then whenever they defeat the boss, that's when there's like an event that happens for us. So we do like a Q&A stream, or we stream something different, or we do like a one-shot campaign, or something like that. So again, it rewards them for interacting. It allows them to, or maybe it's like we have 4 different options, and then once that boss is defeated, they get to vote on what they want us to do or something like that. So again, it's kind of like giving them some agency and like having fun and mixing things up, but it's not just like, so it's not like we're just asking them to chat, or we're just asking them to vote. It's like they get something out of it, where they get to choose, like, after, we stream for a few weeks, and then the boss is killed, and then we do a like a Jackbox stream or something like that, and then they get to like come in and play with us or something.
Yeah.
Or we play what is it? Ultimate Chicken Horse or
Yep.
something like
Yeah.
that.
So just something that they get to hang out with us in some form or fashion, or whatever it might be.
We just do something different.
Yep. So, but yeah, those are a lot of our ideas that we had kicked around. Again, we could use some help with some of those general tasks. Like I said, I like the journal idea. That's something that we can look at. What about you guys? What do you, any ideas that you have in general, or where would you like to see this go? You made a sound, so I looked at you.
I don't currently have any ideas, but I'd be happy to help with the. You said, putting up the sound padding and stuff. If you can help with that, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like anything that I can help with, be happy to help with.
Cool.
No, probably once we figure out like measurements and like what we're gonna do for the setup, we'd probably like get the materials and then here's our Saturday work day or whatever. We're gonna put everything together and put everything up.
So I'm considering for whenever the squares come in, doing like the top half of the wall, because the couch and stuff will be able to.
And us.
Yeah.
Dampen it, right?
So, but that'll at least give us the top half that will help to start dampening stuff, and then we'll worry about how it's going to fit in with the couch and everything afterwards. But
How are you planning to do, like, because they had, like, decor and other setup in theirs that made it feel kind of homey. I don't know if we're thinking just the pads or we're going to put stuff in front
The other
of
thing
it.
that they had, they've got decor and stuff on the
Yeah.
coffee table as well, so that'd be a
Oh, down
place.
there.
Right, so
Okay.
they have like a coffee table, then they've got like their stands for like their information and their notes and everything, and then like between their stands and the camera, they'll have like little knickknacks and things right there to kind of like
one had a Lego tower, I think, and yeah.
Yep. Some of them will have like mugs of stuff like old medieval
Steins.
mugs,
Flagons
steins,
and
flagons,
yeah.
yeah. So things like that. Yep.
And the
Talk about it.
yeah, and one of the big things is just being able to get you guys to where instead of, because right now you don't even have to move your heads really to look at each other, but to get that interaction where you're like, okay, well, what is Gazmac going to do next, or so
Yeah.
yep.
Throw a fireball.
Yeah.
As all good sorcerers do.
Climb a tree. So
I was gonna say, if anyone's artistic at all, I think it'd be cool if we do, when we get to the minion of the night and boss, that we actually have something kind of drawn out.
Oh, right. I know. Well, not to volunteer you, but
no,
Rachel's good at
I
that.
like doing that. I'm just like you. It takes me a while, so it
So-
might not be something.
And that's the thing with minions. Right now it would take several streams to take out a minion, but a boss, we're looking at, several
It's
streams.
perfect, and
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
well,
Yeah.
it also depends on how we like decide to put our numbers or whatever.
Yep.
But you could easily make it where it's like, we're fighting a necromancer and he's got 5 skeleton minions and it's just
Yep.
it's the same skeleton, but then
Right.
just number 1, number 2, number 3.
Give one a hat, one a mustache.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
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 So
But yeah, those were a lot of the ideas. Again, if you guys want to kick around, kind of sign up for anything that you are interested in or something you'd like to learn more about.
I could help with the website too.
Yeah.
Oh, your website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's roleplaygames.com. So
how in the world you got that web name is beyond me. Like I have no idea.
That is pretty crazy.
Like that still is just baffles me. Is that you got that as a YouTube name?
yep.
You got that as a website URL. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
how is that not taken?
I don't know, but yeah, role played games, done and done. It is taken on Twitter.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yep.
But
Twitter of all places.
Yeah, I know, right?
And
So
is like the naming of like the campaign and the episodes and all that stuff. Is that something you think we'll probably more vote on case by case?
we'll probably have to
everyone
come to a
submits an
consensus.
name?
yeah, we'll have to come to consensus on it. But yeah,
Yeah.
any ideas and stuff you want to toss in there, that'd be great, so we can start all looking at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like a.
And episode names, I'm less worried about as far as a consensus
Right.
because it'll be, to tell you the truth, it might end up just being whatever we call a campaign, season
Episode.
1, episode whatever part. That is one thing. I'm going to split it into
Yeah.
4 parts, so it'll be 4 half-hour chunks, so people can digest it as they want. Instead of it being a 2-hour block that they feel like they are tied into, it'll be split up to almost a half an hour, depending on where I can make the cut, to make it easier to digest, to work their way through.
Do you want to try to work that into the actual session?
No. So we actually looked at how, because they did the same thing, especially early on, when they didn't have as many followers. And they basically just found a pause point. And they did. They just hard cut.
Yeah, and then you throw it into a playlist on
Yep.
YouTube.
And I'm going to release it all on the same day. So anyone that wants to roll on through
No,
will
I'm
be able to
tracking.
roll
I just
through.
wasn't
Yeah.
sure if it was
Yeah.
more of where we tried to maneuver ourselves into that hard cut, or if you just do it when you're editing.
Yeah, I'll just do it in post. I'll find a good place around the half-hour mark. So.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll continue working on backstory stuff and the thing of the day, or the what is it?
Question of the day, and then
Our
fun fact.
fun fact. Yep.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, like the main thing that we saw, there were like, I guess just the kind of like encapsulated all this. There were two kind of main themes that we saw. Is that one, this look and feel of like couch co-op was like very inviting and very just a very fun and different experience for like doing like a tabletop game like this. But it was also very attainable for us. Like we were saying, like the difference between us and Critical Role is huge. It's massive. Like we'll never be able to like get to that production level. But like the difference between what we're doing and what they have is very attainable. It's literally a couch, a coffee table, and a special wide angle lens, and that's like the only difference really between what they're doing and what we were doing. So like that was the first part, is like that's very attainable, and the second piece of it then is also just like there are ways that we can have a community, like we can build a community that's not just based around watching us, but it's also based around like them interacting with the campaign and how things unfold, and like those two things together, like it kind of like merges on top of each other. It's like we have this environment where it's like playing couch co-op, and then they are able to impact the gameplay like it's them sitting across from us on the couch, and like they get to roll some dice every now and again to see how things pan out. So it's kind of those are.
And I think the more that we involve people, the more invested they're going to be. And Tim and I were talking about it. If say this were to take off, realistically, all we need is 1,000 to 2,000 people that are invested. And that's more than enough for us all to make this our thing. So, and with that, again, time, and if we actually end up wanting to do that, it does mean at some point in time we'd probably have to have a second stream night. It doesn't necessarily mean this game, but it could be a second game or a question and answer, or doing something like what we're doing now. Just further ways to involve it, because for us to become a Twitch associate, we have to have a certain number of streams per 30 days. Has to have a certain number of hours involved as well, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So,
but that's something that's like,
that's way down the road, and this is all fluid as far as.
But it's one of those things like there are easy ways that we can improve our stream, improve our quality, and get us like halfway to what we see Dragons and Things doing.
Yep.
And then again, like building that community where it's like they get to play with us is the big piece of it. So, anyways. That's what we talked about, basically. So we can...
And we're willing to take up to 2 more players.
That's right.
It'd be really great if we could get another girl, just saying...
I mean, I'm with you.
It's
I
nice.
was almost a female character, so... Which, you never asked what gender any of the other players were.
That's true. Gazmac could totally be a lady.
Cool.
So
I actually picked Cypher because I thought about playing a character where you never find out.
I mean, you got that curly hair. It's like
Because where you've always got the mask
on.
on, but
True.
frankly, I just didn't want to put it in work.
So yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
All right.
Any closing thoughts?
Not right now?
For me.
Cool. And again, next time we'll probably do this again. It probably won't be as long as this one was because we had more to cover, but yeah. My sister says, you can do it. Brittany! LOL. Thank you for watching, Brittany. You are our last viewer for the evening, and we appreciate you. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.